watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a beautiful summer evening here in New York City, and it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees have hit a little bit of a speed bump of late. They've lost 8 of their last 11 games. Yesterday, first game of this set against the Orioles, they lose 5-4, but they did make a run at it.
Yeah, in the 7th inning, I mean, they were down 5-2, and all of a sudden you hit a little lightning. Eric Chavez, boom, hits his 9th of the year, one of the longer home runs I've seen hit in Yankee Stadium. And exciting, the next hitter up, Ichiro, hits his first as a Yankee in his career number 100. Got the place rocking, brought him back within 1 at 5-4. But that's how it ended. Russell Martin could not get it done with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Well, the Yankees have not been getting the big hit during this 11-game stretch. 3 and 8. They've averaged under 4 runs a game. Batting average 236, 17 homers. They've struck out 95 times, though. That's something to look for. 6 of the 8 losses, though, by just 1 run, so it's a quick turnaround for them. They got a little bit of a scare yesterday as well. Mark Teixeira had hurt his wrist against Boston, and then this last night.
Again, the ball kind of bounced back, and you see him reach, and it kind of contorts his body, and all of a sudden he re-injured that left wrist. The good news is it was MRI today. Nothing showed up bad, so he should only miss a few days, and that should be really big for the Yankees. No
structural damage. They gave him a cortisone shot, and he should miss 2 or 3 days. They hope to get him back by the weekend. Look what he did in July, so they will miss him for the time that he's not in there. 298, 7 homers, tied for the most in the major leagues with 27 ribbies. He and Josh Willingham, 17 runs scored, a slugging percentage of .631, so they need him back in that lineup shortly. Ivan Nova's going to get the start for the New York Yankees. He has trouble with Matt Wieters. Why? Paul O'Neill will break it down for you when we get back with the pitching matchup right here on Yes. Take a look now at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Chris Tillman will go for the Orioles, 3-1, 1.66, and Ivan Nova for the Yankees, 10-4, 4.08 ERA. Going to be an interesting matchup in this one. That's Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Ivan Nova has not had much success against Matt Wieters. In fact, Matt Wieters is 7 for 16 against Nova. So let's look at this matchup brought to you by Mazda. Paul, tell me why Wieters hits Nova the way he does.
Well, Wieters has not had his best year offensively, but he is dangerous. And Nova, if you look at where the ball is supposed to be down and away, you better get it down and away, and he doesn't there. So Wieters has hit his mistakes, and that's one guy that is dangerous when you don't make quality pitches. So far this year, so far in his career, 3 home runs. They're all mistakes. They're all over the middle of the plate. Wieters made him pay.
Well, he's hoping to shut him down right now. Wieters has been slumping of late, just 3 hits in his last 37 at bat, so maybe that will help out Nova. It's a beautiful night here in New York City, and we are ready for baseball. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees O's next on Yes. Powered by Total Recall in theaters Friday, by the professionals at your Tri-State GMC dealer, and by Blimpie, fresh, flavorful, and always delicious. Try one of Blimpie's all-American wraps today. Blimpie, America's sub shop. Okay, let's do it here at the stadium. Ivan Nova is ready, so is Nick Markakis, and the first pitch is slapped into left field. Coming on Ibanez, he'll make the play. One pitch, one out, we're underway. Let's check out the entire Orioles lineup, put together by manager Buck Showalter. We already saw Nick Markakis, he's at right. Batting second, the shortstop J.J. Hardy. Chris Davis at DH hits third. Adam Jones in center field cleans up. Matt Wieters will catch and bat fifth. Lou Ford, the left fielder, bats sixth. Batting seventh, playing third base, Wilson Bettamy. Mark Reynolds at first base, bats eighth and batting ninth. And playing second base, Omar Quintanilla. And there's a strike to J.J. Hardy. That one is grounded up the middle. On the shortstop side of the bag is Cano, fires to first. A backhand scoop by Nick Swisher for the second out.
Robbie Cano, obviously, we've talked about his arm strength and how he can get rid of the ball, still get it over there. Good pick by Nick Swisher. Might have been the two quickest outs we've had together, Michael. In 10 years' time. We've got, what, 3 pitches, 2 outs?
Unbelievable. Here's Chris Davis.
This pace we're at it. This game's over in, what, 26 minutes?
Could be. Chris Davis takes a strike. The 0-1. Another strike. So Nova throwing strikes. These are the numbers. This is his 21st start. 10-4, 4.08. Opponents at 277 against him. He has 114 strikeouts. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And Davis down on strikes. A 7-pitch, 1-2-3 inning. Orioles nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. and it's presented by Lexus. The captain, the DH today, Derek Jeter leads off. Batting second and playing center is Curtis Granderson. Robinson Cano, the second baseman, hits third. Cleaning up first baseman Nick Swisher. Raul Ibanez in left field will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing third base Eric Chavez. Ichiro Suzuki in right field will bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching Russell Martin. And Ramiro Pena, the shortstop, will bat ninth. Let's take a look now at the numbers on Chris Tillman. 4 games, 3-1, 1.66. All the numbers are great. And although we didn't get a chance with Nova, we'll do that in a second. And let's take a look now at the McDonald's pitcher scouting report.
Yeah, we'll do a scouting report. Ivan Nova was so rude to get through the first inning in 28 seconds. We didn't get around to it. But Chris Tillman, tough on righties. Righties are batting just 125 off him this season. Third time's a charm. He won consecutive games for the first time in his career, and he's going for number 3 tonight. The only problem is Bronx bombed in 3 starts in the Bronx. Tillman is 1-2 with a 12.27 ERA, and the Yankees hit .448 against him as a team.
Paul, I have an official time for the top of the first inning. This is official. 1 minute and 58 seconds.
Hey, I'm not complaining.
That's usually how long Josh Beckett takes between pitches. Here's Derek Jeter. He'll start it off. Yankees made a trade right before the deadline. They made a trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates for Casey McGee, who plays first base and third. Right-handed hitter, has some power. And Chad Qualls was dealt to Pittsburgh. Derek Jeter lines a base hit to right center. Cut off in the gap by Jones. Jeter's going to go for 2, and he will make it with a leadoff double.
You know, Jeter just keeps on going on, and this is his thing. He can handle that ball out away from him. Tillman tries to get back in the count. Fastball up and away, and he drives it to right center field. Jones tries to make a sliding play to come up, a little pop slide to get up to second base, but Jeter runs too well.
Here's Granderson. Also, with the trade of Qualls, it opened up a spot on the Yankee roster because McGee's not here. He'll be here tomorrow. And the Yankees activated Jabba Chamberlain. So there's a chance we could see Jabba for the first time in a year, at least in a regular season game. He did so well in his rehab assignment, where he threw anywhere from 97 to 100. And I think this play is going to be up for grabs if he comes into this game. He was supposed to pitch in Trenton tonight. He was on his way to Trenton and had to turn around.
It's made a U-turn right in the highway.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
It works here, believe me, I've seen it.
I've heard some of your driving misadventures the last couple of days.
I'm on double probation at home with my driving skills. I'll tell you one thing, though. It's the only place in the world when we land at LaGuardia, pedestrians do not have the right-of-way. Have you ever noticed that?
Turned him loose on 3-0. Grounds and foul. Granderson just 3 hits in his last 17 at bats. And the pitch. Swing and miss. 3-2. Line drive, a base hit to right field. Jeter held up. He's going to round third. He will score without a throw as Marquez throws it into second. It's an RBI single for Granderson, and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Sometimes as a hitter, when you're supposed to move a guy over and you do your job, you see he gets a ball that he can actually hook as a left-handed hitter. A lot of times the ball inside is the ball that you really can't get out to where you want. Good piece of hitting. Ball away, stay on it, and when you're in pull mode with a man on second base, that ball away, Much easier pitch to get around the outside of it and just hook it to right field.
Here's Robinson Cano. He's at 309, and he has just 2 hits in his last 20 at bats. So he has been on fire of late. And the slump might be over. See ya! A 2-run home run for Cano, and the Yankees lead 3-0.
Sometimes the ball is just out of the ballpark right when it leaves the bat. And Robbie Cano hit some balls hard the last couple of days. Hasn't got a lot of hits. You know, they don't catch him out here, Michael. This ball was hit like a rocket. Again, fastball right down the middle of the plate. And you know, Robbie took a couple balls yesterday. You see the right fielder took about 2 steps. Knew that ball was gone.
Shouldn't be surprised because with that home run, Paul, Cano's out 8 for 12 against Tillman. The pitch to Swisher is up and away. So Cano, his 23rd home run. Coming into tonight, the numbers were not good against the Yanks. As Paul told you during the scouting report.
I was going to say, if you didn't mention my scouting report, because I told you got bombed in the Bronx.
I listened to everything you said. What was you know? Ground ball up the middle. Through for a base hit. 4 straight hits for the Yankees and putting the Oriole defense to the test. So why don't we take a look at it? And it's brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Ford, Jones, and Markakis left to right in the outfield. Infield, Bettamy, Hardy, Quintanilla, Reynolds. That's third to first. Weeder behind the plate. Tillman is on the mound.
If you're Buck Showalter, you're one. I mean, Tillman, he's thrown the ball well for you as of late, but all of a sudden, you know, the Yankees came out in the first inning, and you're just hoping that he can settle down here and give you some innings.
Pitch is low to Ibanez. And Rick Adair, the pitching coach, wants to come out and talk with Tillman. Paul, I want to run something by you from last night's game. In the 9th inning, Swisher doubled and Ibanez was up. And so many people on Twitter were saying the Yankees should have bunted. Now, I don't see that. Ibanez is not a guy you're going to bunt with. The guy's already in scoring position. What do you think?
You know what? At this time of the year, with the lead that they have, the way they win games, driving the ball in the gaps and hitting home runs, I think you let your guys take 3 shots at getting them in. Right. He's a left-handed hitter. He has a good chance of pulling the ball. In a playoff situation, a World Series game, you might play it a little bit different and make sure that you tie the game up by bunting him over. But, you know, Raul Ibanez, how often does he bunt?
That's the main thing right there. A lot of guys in this lineup hit 3rd or 4th in other places. They're not bunters.
Right. And that's where, you know, I've said it many times, is Joe Girardi is handcuffed at times because of the talent that he has, the type of players that he has. And he said it. This is the type of team we are. We win by hitting home runs and by driving guys in with extra base hits. And so far, so good for the Yankees. Not lately, but they're still, you know, they're winning the American League East by doing that.
Tapped right back to Tillman. He'll go to second. He gets 1 on to first. Not in time.
Tillman spin and throw. And the big thing is to get that first out. I mean, whether you turn a double play or not, you have to get an out. You have to get an out under your belt here. You've had a rocky first inning.
Here's Eric Chavez, a long home run in the 7th inning last night into the luxury suite in right field. Take a look at the weather, which is presented by Bigelow Tea. 77 degrees, 68% humidity. The wind is 8 miles per hour, and Paul doesn't like this forecast for night game. It's partly cloudy.
It's beautiful tonight, though. I'll tell you, that's like a 9.5 on a scale of 10. It's
pretty good.
Beautiful night tonight.
Not too many clouds.
Look at that.
looking cool.
Trying to get a moon tan out there with those shades on.
That white building out beyond Yankee Stadium, I wonder if you could actually see the game from like that top floor.
Oh,
like if you hang out on the terrace.
It's higher.
Right here.
Anytime it's higher, you can look down in, right?
I wonder if you can see any of the outfield. There's a strike.
It'd give you something to do tomorrow. Like.
Go up to that apartment.
Yeah. I'm sure you've got sources. You went over them last night. A lot of them too. Just see you standing right up there.
You stay here. I'll announce from up there.
Very remote.
Yeah. Count 3-2. Alex Rodriguez with a cast on his left hand. With a smile. Sure he can't wait to get back. Runner goes. 3-2 is grounded through for a base hit. Ibanez goes to third. Chavez picks up a single. Yankees have runners on the corners with one out.
Again, Tillman has had such a tough day. Balls hit hard. Now you get chops and they go through the infield. All of a sudden you've got to figure out this might be the pitch that saves the game for you. If you can get a double play and get out of this inning, you need some confidence somewhere. Think about a double play, but then you look in the box and you see Ichiro. You might want to go to plan B and try to get a pop out to the infield.
Big moment for Ichiro yesterday with a home run, his 100th career home run, first as a Yankee. He has a 7-game hitting streak, but it's a vitamin hitting streak, one a day, 1 hit a day. So 7 hits as a Yankee.
You really saw that. I mean, they were chanting his name. They wanted a curtain call, and it was like he didn't need that yet. And it was actually kind of cool from our standpoint here to see what was going on. And he didn't go running out there to greet the people. I mean, such a humble guy, has accomplished so much in his career. But the Japanese think of things a little bit different.
You remarked yesterday that he's one of the few players that actually sits in the dugout with his hat on. And our very own Jack Curry actually told me later on that the Japanese players treat their equipment as if it's almost royalty. They don't throw bats, they don't throw helmets, so you wouldn't fit into that.
I actually got a call from Japan to play over there one time too. I wouldn't have fit into it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
He did not hold up, so he goes around. When was this?
During negotiations here, I never considered it, but there was an offer to go to Japan. My wife wasn't a big fan, I'll tell you that. It's just like
neither were the water coolers. But they treat the equipment as if it's very, very sacred. Go 1-2. 2-2.
See Tillman going for that strikeout. Balls in the dirt. Ichiro too much of a disciplined hitter to go for those balls. His main objective right here is to slap the ball to the left side, knowing that he can beat out a double play and get that run in. And he's got 2 options because of his speed. Obviously a sacrifice fly, but also anything to the left side of the infield where the shortstop has to move. And you're going to score a run.
Count 3-2. One of the things that's been missing from Ichiro's game this year is he doesn't get on base a lot. So the Yankees wouldn't mind seeing him walk every now and then because his on base percentage is under 300. He's a better player than that, and that might be one of the reasons why he's not at the top of the lineup.
But would it surprise you by the end of the year if he is?
No, it would not. Ground ball knocked down by Tillman. And everybody is safe as a run scores and the Yankees lead 4-0. Not a fun inning for Chris Tillman or Buck Showalter.
Again, this is, with Ichiro's speed, this would have been close because this is a tough double play to turn, but obviously you would have got one out. See, Ibanez going on contact, going to make them try to do a double play, but you know, right now, if you're Tillman, you're just thinking, what else can go wrong?
And he gets charged with an E1. Ichiro does get an RBI because he can't assume the double play. And here's Russell Martin. Martin struck out to end the game last night.
Saw that pitch that he struck out. Jim Johnson, who's been struggling, but really, really good closer and had unbelievable numbers in the first half. What's Swisher doing?
I don't know.
Probably one of the better sinkers he threw all night. 95 miles an hour, right in on his hands.
Yankees have 4 runs in. They have now scored 4 or more runs in a major league leading 71 games this year. And in those games, they're 55 and 15. This is the 71st game. Oh, Nick was helping Nick Kelleher, who gets all that equipment dropped off when somebody's at first base.
That's because everybody has arm guards and sliding guards and everything over there. Not too long before guys change their spikes when they get down to first base in case someone steal a base.
They turn him loose on 3-0 and he rockets one through the left side for a base hit. Chavez is being waved home. The throw is high. Run scores and they have Martin in a rundown. And he gets tagged out for the second out. But the Yankees do score a run. Then Ichiro moves to third. And the Yankees are up 5-0.
3-0. Beat into the hole. Good job of hitting. Hit ball hard. Get another RBI. Readers catches this ball and quickly gets us to second base.
Seven, 2, 4, 3, 4.
We figured out that this game's going to go. The Yankees are going to hit for 15 minutes an inning, and the Orioles are going to hit for 27 seconds. It's all going to even out, though.
Here's Pena with a runner at third, and he takes a strike. So the Yankees have batted around. Pena, the 9th batter to come to the plate. Nova retired the Orioles in order in the top of the first, 7 pitches in a minute and 58 seconds. That's what Ramiro did this season at AAA.
Michael, you've been around him, and he's a likable guy. I mean, Ramirez, he just, you know, he's glad to be here, doesn't have an attitude about anything, knows why he's here. Somebody got hurt, he's getting another opportunity.
He wants to make the most of this game because I'm not the GM of this team, but if you try to do roster movement and Casey McGee gets here tomorrow, in all likelihood, it would be Pena that would go down to make room.
You know, if you're Qualls, you're thinking the same thing coming out of the bullpen. You know Job is coming up soon, and you're probably the guy to go down. So, you know, being traded for him, probably not the worst thing that could happen.
And it was a trade of convenience for both teams because once the Pirates got Gabby Sanchez from the Marlins, they were probably going to designate McGee for assignment. And when Jabba came up, Qualls was probably going to be designated for assignment. So they just traded those two for each other. Two. Ground ball to second base. Quintanilla is there. And that'll do it for the Yankees. Get 5 runs on 6 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. The big blow off the bat of a slumping Robinson Cano. Slumping no more as the Yankees lead 5-0. We go to the second. Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Ibanez, Granderson, and Suzuki left to right. In the infield, it's Chavez, Pena, Cano, and Swisher. That's third to first. Martin's behind the plate. Ivan Nova is on the mound. Now, since that top of the first inning went by so quickly, we never got a chance to show you the defense, nor do we have a chance to tell you the McDonald's pitcher's scatter report on Ivan Nova. And we'll take a quick look at that, Paul.
Supernova. I mean, first Yankee pitcher to win at least 10 games in both his rookie and sophomore seasons since Orlando El Duque Hernandez. Nightlife, he's good at night. 8-2 in 15 night starts this season. And extra. The only problem is he's allowed 64 extra base hits this season, the most in Major Leagues.
5-0 Yankees. So the Yankees have given him a nice advantage here in the second. Pitch is high to Adam Jones. Freddie Garcia has remarked to Nova, you throw harder when there are people on base. He said, why don't you throw hard when there's no one on base? Because he does give up a lot of extra base hits, but he gets out of a lot of jams as well. And you look at his velocity readings, and if he's in trouble, all of a sudden you'll see 95, maybe 96. When there are no people on base, he's at 93, sometimes 92, maybe 94. So he reaches back for a little something.
A lot of good pitchers will do that, but you don't want to take off so much that you're ending up pitching out of jams all the time.
1-1. Check swing. And Alan Porter said he went. So the count now 1-2. Not a bad call. Broken bat, Looper in the center field, a base hit. So there's a runner on base, so that means that Nova will get tougher. Opponent's batting average against Nova with runners on base, Paul, 240. With the bases empty, it's 307.
Made a good point there, Michael.
Thank you.
Numbers even back it up.
It was really Freddie Garcia's point. I stole it. Here's Wieters. We told you in the open that he has had trouble with Wieters. Pitch is high. Wieters 7 for 16 against Nova, and 3 of the 7 home runs. But Wieters in a slump of his own, 3 for 37. Right in on the hands.
In our pregame, Michael, we went over the pitches he missed. He was trying to throw Wieters away, and it kind of inched over the middle of the plate. Now, right now, you saw that ball in right on his hands, and that's kind of the way you pitch big guys, because they want to get their arms extended, and they have trouble with balls right in on their hands.
Two and one.
Talked about the Orioles yesterday, and they don't run a lot. They hit a lot of home runs. They don't steal a lot of bases. Adam Jones being one of the few guys on that team that will take a chance. But, when you're down 5-0, very hard to really think about a running game. Just hope that if you're Buck Showalter that, you can hit a couple home runs and get back in this game.
There's a base hit for Wieters. And Adam Jones will stop at second.
Again, there's certain pitchers that you see well. This ball's supposed to be right here. I guarantee we're going to see it. It's out over there. And that's what happened. That allows him to get his hands out and the barrel of the bat out where he can hit something hard. See him pull his hands in to get to it. Actually let go with that top or bottom hand. you go, Michael. You got a couple guys on. First pitch fastball with movement, 95.
Lou Ford getting an opportunity to be back in the big leagues for the first time since 2007 when he was with the Twins. And he's looking for his first hit since coming back.
And I think that is an unbelievably important pitch for Noah. When he gets his big curveball over, it seems like everything else works for him. It's the nights that he can't control his curveball that he has to rely on too many fastballs. Sooner or later he gets hit. When he can get his breaking ball over, that's when he's at his best. Another good one.
Move forward, down on strikes. One away.
Pitching here. A lot of times, you throw a good curveball and you think you'll trick them, go back to a fastball. If a guy cannot hit a curveball, continue to throw it and make him show you that he can hit that pitch.
Here's Betamete. And a strike.
There's 3 in a row. And all of a sudden, he has a feel for that pitch, and it's going to open the eyes of Baltimore, knowing that he can get that over. Can't just sit on that fastball.
Count 0-2.
We talked about Baltimore's lack of runs and how they have not hit well with runners in scoring position, and this isn't going to help either. Ivan Nova, batters hit 194 against him with runners in scoring position, and that's a mark of a guy that knows how to win. I mean, give me some pitchers that just know how to win, and that's getting big outs with men in scoring position.
Swing and a miss. Strikes out Betamete. 2 outs.
All of a sudden he's going to that breaking ball and he's going for it throwing it up in the zone for strikes, and then in strikeout counts throwing it down in the dirt. So he'll come over top of that and just bring it down.
Here's Mark Reynolds.
I'll tell you what, Nova's completely gone to breaking balls now. You want to hear a weird stat, Michael? This is strange but true. The Orioles have played 103 games. 33 of those games, they have failed to have a hit with runners in scoring position. 33 times they didn't get a hit in a game with runners in scoring position. It's just has not been the way they score runs. A lot like the Yankees. Not good at it, but they hit a lot of home runs.
The thing that makes you wonder, though, Paul, about their legitimacy as a contender, they've been outscored overall, too.
Yeah.
So they're not a great offensive team. The Yankees hit enough home runs to score a lot of runs. This team does not score too many runs, and very few teams get outscored and end up in the playoffs.
Right. If you nitpick, I mean, there's a few things they don't do well, and right now their bullpen has been taxed because their starting pitching has struggled, and they don't catch the ball really well. They're not a great defensive team, and to win close games, you've got to make plays.
Now, last year the Diamondbacks actually made the playoffs, being outscored for the season, but it's rare. The 0-2. Ripped down the left field line. Fair ball, and it bounces into the seats. That will score Jones. Moving to third is Wieters. It's an RBI double for Reynolds. And the O's are on the board. It's 5-1 Yanks.
Well, every once in a while, Marky, you go to the well so many times, and then you're going to find one coming right at you. It was closer to going foul than I thought, but this is a hanging slider, which really is nothing but a mediocre fastball. See it just kind of hang right there and spin. Good when you get a strikeout, bad when you get a double down the line. Nova knew he hung that ball, and a lot of times you just hope that they hook it foul.
65 extra base hits allowed. Paul told you that during the scouting report. So he's ahead of John Lester, who's second, and Phil Hughes, who's third. And we're going to look at Phil Hughes tomorrow. It's an afternoon game here at the stadium.
I'm glad you told me that. So some of those nights I get home and I question myself, is tomorrow a day game?
I got a text from you one night.
I text you to call you.
So make sure to tune in tomorrow. The game starts at 1. And our coverage begins at 12:30.
Michael, our coverage starts a lot earlier. You're here just diving into
I'll probably get here about 8, 7:30, 8, something like that.
Let's not go overboard here.
Showalter will probably sleep here.
That's right.
And then the other dugout, Girardi will too. The 1-0. Pitch is high, 2-0. Quintanilla. These are kind of streaks that you dream about as a hitter. 11 for 22. Nice.
Big hit off Boone Logan. He came in last night, struck out 2 righties, and then Quintanilla ends up getting a hit. Ended up back-to-back lefties getting a hit, ended up being a run.
Ground ball up the middle, a base hit. Leader scores. Reynolds rounds third. He will score. And Quintanilla now has a 7-game hitting streak. He has a 2-run single. We got a ball game. Yankees 5, Orioles 3.
And these are the big outs. I mean, you've got 2 outs, 2 men on. You get an out here, no damage. All of a sudden, boom, ball right through the wickets, right back up the middle, hit hard. 2-run single, and those are the backbreakers if you're a pitcher.
Larry Rothschild will come out and talk with Nova. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. That has to make Chris Tillman feel a whole lot better. He gives up 5. His team gets 3 back right away. It's still batting.
It's kind of your vitamin read for the day, isn't it? Once a day.
Absolutely.
Disclaimer.
Here's Markakis, lined out to left on the first pitch of the game.
A really good night last night. Had good at bats. We talked about him coming back from a fractured hamate bone in his hand, and has been very good at the plate since.
And since he came back, 18 games off the DL. Before his first at bat in the first inning, 364 leading off. He's become a different player, and they've had a revolving door of players. They couldn't find a leadoff hitter. And maybe they found one in Markakis, which is strange because he can hit home runs and drive in runs. And there he lines one into right field, a base hit. Ichiro comes up throwing, fires it into Cano, and the Orioles have runners on first and third, their 5th hit of the inning, and 2 men out.
We talked about Markakis, and you just see how comfortable he looks against right. And another breaking ball just hangs right there. Ball just hammered to right field. Right to the ball, not a lot of movement, good extension. See here. Ichiro just throws a bullet in there. Robbie Cano's going to get used to that with him in right field. You know, all of a sudden, Nova went to a lot of breaking balls with men in scoring position, and now he's kind of lost his fastball as far as being able to spot up where he wants. Everything's kind of up. Ball 2. I mean, whether he gets his slider or his curveball over, you still have to remember he's a power pitcher. I mean, he can throw mid-90s with movement, so he always is going to rely on his fastball. Suddenly it seemed like he threw so many breaking balls that he's kind of lost the feel for that fastball.
Now it's 3-0.
Very frustrating. You have such a quick inning like he did. Your team gives you 5 runs, and then you go out and struggle through the 2nd inning. Still not out of it.
Loads the bases for Chris Davis. as the Orioles now bat around.
You don't see this very much for him, but you know that last, you just see a little frustration, and it's like he's trying to just hurry up and get through this inning, and all of a sudden you got to realize it's bases loaded. You need to make a quality pitch, or you're going to have a tie game here, and you don't see a lot of that in his demeanor when he's pitching very often.
Chris Davis to the plate. Yankees 5, Orioles 3. Down 0-1.
Again, breaking ball starting out, but the ball is just sitting over the middle of the plate. It doesn't have that sharp break. You know, he got that strikeout with Benameed earlier in the inning with that sharp breaker, but that ball right there is just kind of hanging over the middle of the plate. Gives a hitter a good, you know, a lot of time to look at it.
Driven out to left center field. Giving chase is Granderson on the run, looking up. Off the top of the wall into the bullpen, a grand slam for Chris Davis, and the Orioles now lead 7-5.
I'll tell you one thing, that's his 18th home run of the season and a grand slam, but you might get away with a hanging breaking ball once in a while, but not back-to-back pitches. And this was the second consecutive one that he hung. Ends up going to left center field and off the top of the wall for a grand slam. Son Nova has let this inning just completely get away from him, and again, he hung the first one. You'll see this just hangs there off the bat. He knew he got it good. See Rudy out there with the grab. Remember Rudy?
Rudy Arias.
In the old days.
Let's take a look again at the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, a grand slam for Davis.
Davis missed one before, and again, he stays with this one. And you've got to have good power to hit it out this part of the ballpark to Yankee Stadium. Once in a while, you might even need a little help from the top of the wall.
Still nobody up in the Yankee bullpen. And moments ago, no smiles in the Orioles dugout. But after Chris Davis's first career grand slam, there's a lot to smile about. That one is lined into center field, and the inning is finally over. But the Orioles score 7 runs on 6 hits, and all unraveled for Ivan Nova. Yankees gave him a 5-0 lead, and with this swing, the Orioles now lead 7-5 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Improved the most with their trade deadline deals, and there are many choices, and a lot of them out west. By the way, was it the Angels getting Zach Greinke? The Dodgers got Shane Victorino. The Giants got Hunter Pence. Then you got the Pirates and the Rangers. Text your vote to 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here's what happened in the West. We told you Greinke acquired from Milwaukee on the 27th. Dempster goes to the Texas Rangers. Look like the Dodgers are going to get him. Cubs trade him to the Rangers. Victorino goes to the Dodgers. And Hunter Pence will go to the Giants.
And this move here kind of, in my mind, caused that move. Because I think Texas was not going to see another pitcher added, and then they felt like they had to do something.
I think you're correct.
And Dempster's a good pitcher, and so is Greinke. So those are two quality guys for the good teams.
1-0 to Jeter. Now 2-0. Jeter started the first inning for the Yankees with a double, came around to score. Yankees put a 5-spot on, and Tillman looked like he was going to have a miserable night, but now he's leading a half an inning later. Fly ball, right center. Adam Jones there will put it away for the first out.
Remember the days that when Boston was competitive, and if they did something, Mr. Steinbrenner was going to do something too. And you almost knew it as a player, and it was such a fun time of year knowing that your general manager, your owner, wanted to win as much as you did. And not a lot of owners are in that same league, and it was so much fun to play and know if you needed something, and he was going to go out and get it.
Anderson, an RBI single in the first inning. 1-1.
Tillman's going to go out now in the second inning and try to figure out a different pattern, because the first inning didn't work, and he had a lot of his fastballs up in the zone and was getting hammered. Now he's gone to a lot of breaking balls. It's the top of the zone there. You see Curtis Granderson kind of flinch and think, really?
And Granderson down on strikes.
That was a strikeout caused by just the difference in the speed, because it wasn't a great breaking ball, but Curtis Granderson was fooled that it was a fastball, and it wasn't. It just took off a little bit. It's kind of a slider. If you're Tillman, though, you got to figure, you have a horrible first inning. You're down by 5 runs, and then against the Yankees, and you've had no success whatsoever pitching in the Bronx. All of a sudden you take the mound and you're up 7-5.
Knotek's pitch outside had a 2-run home run in the first inning. 23rd home run of the year. Right in on the hands and popped up. Hardy is there, and a nice bounce back inning for Chris Tillman as he retires the Yankees in order. We're going to go to the third. Matt Wieters will lead it off in 7-5-0s. customers, you won't have to miss a game again now that you can watch live Yes Network Yankees games on your PCs or laptops with Optimum Online. Get the remaining season of live Yankee games on the go for just $39.99. And if you're an Optimum Online customer who watches Yes on IOTV, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. Matt Wieters fouls it away, and third inning underway. Ivan Nova threw 6 pitches in the first inning, and he allowed 7 runs in the second inning. So he allowed more runs than he threw pitches in the first.
You see those first 2 pitches right in on the hands, and that's where he needs to stay. And if you're going to miss, you got to miss in, out, and off the plate. He's had a tendency over the last couple of years to miss out over the plate off Wieters. We talked about how good his numbers were.
The 0-2. 1-2. And the pitch to Wieters.
Tough pitch to lay off there. Now that's a good pitch. That ball was in the strike zone and ended up out of it. Wieters did a good job by taking that one. And tied him up.
Told you Wieters has 3 home runs lifetime against Nova. That's the most home runs that he has against any pitcher in baseball. And he picked up a single in that 7-run second inning. Serves that one into left field. Ibanez makes the play for the first half. Second game of this 3-game set. Tomorrow the finale is a matinee. Yankees have an off day on Thursday, and then 3 games against Seattle Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yankees still have a 6.5 game lead over the Orioles. Tampa lost last night, so Rays 7.5 back. That one is driven deep to center field off the bat of Ford. Going back, Granderson, he's got to play it out the base of the wall. Lou Ford is at second, and he will stop right there with a double. And that's his first big league hit since 2007.
It's a big deep breath, and I tell you what, you'd never take that big of a break. It's got to be a thrill. Almost like starting over again. And again, you see the pitch right down the middle of the plate. He has just lost his ability to locate his fastball. Ford drives this one over Granderson's head.
Since his last game in the major leagues for Minnesota in 2007, we see Ford's double here, played in 39 games in Mexico, 47 in Japan, 73 games in the affiliated minor leagues, 184 games in independent baseball, including the Long Island Ducks. So that double had to be a thrill for him.
He got all breaking balls last time and ended up swinging on top of one in the dirt. It's the first fastball that he's seen all night. Fouled it off. That's the pitch that he's going to need off these lefties. Started in off the plate, kind of running back over the corner. You take your chances with that breaking ball in the dirt.
Way high as Martin has to go get it, and Lou Ford moves to third on the very wild pitch.
Again, you talk about a huge pitch. I mean, you've got a batter 0-2. He's in trouble. Man on second base, and this ball just gets away from him. Russell Martin can't get up there quick enough. All of a sudden, you have an easy RBI chance if you're betting me to put the ball in play. Rattle our camera back there, Mike.
It's the Fletcher can.
The Fletcher can?
Yeah, that's right.
It's got its own name?
Oh, yeah. All right, hi, Fletch.
Fletcher's nodding his head. All right.
Infield is in, and a base hit over the head of a leaping Nick Swisher. Betamete is going to go for 2. Digging it out in the corner is Ichiro, but it's an RBI double for Betamete. Lou Ford scores, and it's 8-5 Baltimore.
Well, what Nova has done all year and basically his whole career has been able to get out guys with men in scoring position. Tonight, completely different thing. Again, an off-speed pitch. Just out over the plate, and Betamete just hammers it at the infield end. Swisher can't get it. And Larry Rothschild on the phone early tonight.
Now they used David Phelps for a stretch yesterday. Be interested to see how they would piece together such a long appearance. Couldn't be just one guy. Mike Harkey's getting ready just in case.
Reynolds here, they've made their mind up. They're going to get him out with off-speed stuff. He hung one last time and he hit that double down the line, but went right back to 2 sliders. You might see a fastball out of the zone, but you're going to try to get him. The scouting report is you're going to get him out with breaking stuff.
Ground ball to short. Pena for the second one.
Another off-speed pitch. It's funny how you look at this game again. Tillman's thinking, "Oh no, here we go again in the Bronx. I'm down 5-0." But then if you're the Yankees, you know your pitcher's giving up 8 runs, and you look at the scoreboard, you're only down by 3, and it's the 3rd inning. So you just know that it's going to be a slugfest. You know, you're going to score a lot of runs. It's just the way that the game is playing out.
Now, we showed you Clay Rapata warming up, and the problem with Clay Rapata warming up is he's a lefty specialist. So if you're going to have him give you innings, he's going to have to face some right-handers, and you're putting yourself in harm's way. So that's an issue. You probably don't have David Phelps available. Jabba Chamberlain can't go much more than 1. That one is tapped the other way. That's why they'd like to see Nova get tough and give them a couple of innings and a good play by Eric Chavez. But the Orioles get a run on 2 hits. 1 man left on base. We're going to the bottom of the 3rd. Swisher will lead off.
in the pregame show, and as Michael Kay mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Yankees made a move just prior to this afternoon's 4 p.m. trade deadline, sending right-handed reliever Chad Qualls to the Pittsburgh Pirates in exchange for infielder Casey McGee and cash considerations. At the time of the trade, McGee was in Chicago with the Pirates, so he likely won't be here until tomorrow, leaving the Yankees with an open roster spot. GM Brian Cashman knew that this trade could go down today, so he called his trainers and said, is there any reason why Jabba Chamberlain couldn't be activated today medically? They said, no, he's fine, he's clear, he is 100%, both that elbow and the ankle, so that is the call that GM Brian Cashman made to activate Jabba Chamberlain. It was an interesting day for Jabba. He expected to be in Trenton. In fact, he went to Trenton for a rehab appearance. He got there only to find out that he was being called up and activated today. So he turned around, left Waterfront Park at about 4:15, crossed over the George Washington Bridge at about 5:30, and he was in right field playing catch just after 6 p.m. with some of his teammates. So certainly a whirlwind of a day for Chamberlain, an even longer 14 months as he recovered from both Tommy John surgery and that gruesome ankle injury. He's a guy right now that is extremely motivated to prove people wrong, prove he can pitch and still contribute to this team. It goes without saying he is happy to be back, and guys, certainly another option for Joe Girardi in that bullpen. It'll be curious to see how he decides to use him and exactly how effective he is to start right now.
That's another piece for Joey. Thank you very much, Meredith. And we might see him tonight. The way Nova's pitching, if he doesn't straighten himself out, they are going to have to fashion some innings out of the bullpen. The Lincoln scoreboard shows you it's an 8-5 Oriole lead. It's amazing, though, because what happened in spring training, he's coming back from the Tommy John surgery. Then he has the accident on the trampoline, breaks his ankle. And some people are saying that his career could be over, let alone pitching this year. But here he is, end of July, and he's back on the active roster. And he said all the time, I will pitch this year, and he was right, as Nick Swisher grounds out in the second. Right elbow injury, put on the DL last June 10th. He had Tommy John surgery 6 days later. Signed a one-year contract with the Yankees January 17th of this year. Then the right ankle surgery on March 22nd, and he's activated today. So what a long, strange trip it's been for Jabba Chamberlain. You still think of Jabba as a kid, and he came to the Yankees in 2007. So he's been around a while. And he's started, he's relieved, he's been injured, and he's always been a fan favorite.
And I tell you what, you've been away from the game as long as he had. You know, you're going to get that excitement back again. I mean, just all of a sudden the pictures are going to start going through your mind of how much you've worked and how much it was to get back to this point. And I'm anxious to see him pitch, Michael, and I can tell you are too.
It should be fun, and according to how close the game is, the crowd could get electric when he comes in, because again, he has always been a crowd favorite. The 0-2. Driven out to deep center field. Jones back, still back. He's going to turn and look and play it off the wall as Ibanez picks up a double with one out here in the bottom of the third.
Hey, Raul Ibanez, the last month or so, we talked last night, just good at bat after good at bat, and that's the pitch right there. When he stays in the middle of the field, he's a really, really good hitter. If he doesn't get pole conscious, he still has enough power to drive that ball to center field and left center field. Be dangerous.
That'll bring up Eric Chavez. He's singled to right in the first inning. Remember one thing your former teammate once told me about being injured, and that was Don Mattingly. And he said, not so much being injured. He said, that stinks because you can't play. He said, even if you're around the team, if you're not playing, you don't feel like you're a member of the team. You feel so disconnected from what is your family. He said, that's the hardest thing to adjust to. And nowadays, you don't rehab with your team a lot. I mean, Jabba spent most of his time in Tampa, so he was really disconnected.
And you get this feeling like, and it's probably kind of a false feeling, but you get this feeling like people are looking at you like, you know, you're not what you were. You're not part of this team, and you really, until you get back out on the field, you're right. You don't feel like you're supposed to be here.
Chavez pops one up. Quintanilla is right there, and he'll put it away for the second one.
Tillman has made some adjustments. He's been able to throw his changeup a little bit more and then throw that ball right in on the hands of the lefties, which he did to Chavez there.
Here's Ichiro.
Another big play in the game when Tillman might have had an opportunity to get out of an inning with a double play. Ground ball right back at him. Got no outs. Kept the inning going.
The 0-1. 1-1. Last night, Ichiro with a milestone home run, his 100th of his career, and first as a Yankee.
Every once in a while, Ichiro will cheat as a left-handed hitter and kind of open up and look for that ball, and he got one. Pretty exciting moment here last night. You got the Yankees back within one, where you think, they're going to come back. Obviously, they came up short, but certainly a fun night for Ichiro.
Most home runs by a Japanese-born player, Hideki Matsui with 175. Ichiro is next.
Hideki was released, right?
Yes, by the Rays. Ground ball to first. Reynolds gobbles it up and beats Ichiro to the bag, and that'll do it. So the double by Ibanez is wasted. They go to the fourth. Top of the Oriole order. They lead 8-5. Time now for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. I said it's time now. Alex Rodriguez is one of 4 players all time to hit 100 home runs for 3 different franchises. Paul, who are the other 3?
Oh, you want me to just blurt them out right now?
No, I want you to think about it. The guy that would get you in trouble is right over your shoulder, too. So, 3 other players. It's a great question. Nick Markakis is going to lead it off against Ivan Nova. And a strike to Markakis. Lincoln scoreboard 8-5. Orioles lead the Yanks.
That short slider in off the plate. That's the only thing. And Nick Markakis is swinging the bat well. We talked about last night and so far tonight. Only thing left he can do with that ball is hammer it foul.
Count 1-2. Grounded to first. Swisher. One away. Follow the Yankees with the MLB.com @BAT12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. I don't know if you could get the @BAT12 on that phone.
I was just looking to see if I could do that.
Well,
reading my mind here.
Usually the clue is if you have to put quarters on the phone, you probably can't do it.
Is that what this whole slot's for?
Yes.
I'm coming back here. I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to bring like just a whole pocket full of iPhones.
Be great.
I don't know how to use any of them, but I'm going to have them.
I have spoken to your wife, and she says you are not getting an iPhone.
I've almost lost my keys. I can't get an iPhone. What do I got left?
You got an accident with the car. You tweeted out a picture of it. Popped up. Shallow center. Coming on is Granderson. And he'll make the play for the second out. Kind of took a step back and then had to come back in quickly.
Well, you know what? On nights like these where you're used to running to the wall because everything's over your head, you kind of get gun shy out there in the outfield. You're right, Michael. You see him. Kind of took a weird angle to it.
So 2 down here in the 4th. Teams watch how a pitcher reacts when he's having the sort of night that Ivan Nova's had. Do you pack it in, or do you stay tough, grit it out, and give the team some innings? Because they appreciate that.
Again, you got to realize a lot of times you could be down 8-0, 8-1. I mean, you're down 8-5 with an offense that has an ability to throw up big numbers. So, if you could get through 6-7 innings, even at this point, I think that you're going to give them a chance to score some runs.
Count 1-2. Swing and a miss, and a nice bounce back inning for Nova as he retires the Orioles in order 1-2-3. You go to the bottom of the 4th. Martin, Pena, and Jeter. New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. It's the beginning of the honeymooners, Paul.
It's registered. Go ahead.
Alex Rodriguez is one of 4 players all time to hit 100 home runs for 3 different franchises. Who are the other 3? Let's find out. Jim Thome, who just got put on the DL today with a bad neck. Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, I knew Reggie. That's the only one I knew.
And Darrell Evans. Good question.
Yeah, it was. I was thinking Frank Robertson, but that was only 2.
Reds
then I was thinking
Orioles.
Don Baylor. He'd been with a lot of teams, but not enough home runs in each. Really? What do you think of that?
Moving on, Russell Martin leads off, takes a strike. Martin with an RBI single in the first inning. Grounded foul outside of third. Yankees scored 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning, and the Orioles answered with 7 in the second. Baseball. And 1 in the third. It's 8-5 Baltimore.
She got something tonight that you never got your whole life. You told me you never got a foul ball your whole life. As many games you went to.
As a fan, and the first game I ever covered as a writer, I was on the phone with the office, and the ball came back into the press box, and I caught it with one hand.
So you were getting like balled out from the office, and your dream came true. You got a ball in your hand.
Well, if that's the way you want to tell the story, sure. Grounded to short. Hardy is there. 1 away. Charlie Sheen always tells the story that he's never caught a ball in a game, and he said he took a guy to a game, and the guy, again, Charlie had never caught a ball, goes to a lot of games, and his buddy caught a foul ball from you. And Charlie was so desperate to catch a foul ball at an Angels game, he bought 6,200 seats in left field, bought off the whole left field bleacher site, and not one ball came there. That one is lined into right field. It's a base hit for Ramiro Pena. You ever catch a ball in a game? No, I mean, obviously on the field.
No, because I didn't go to a lot of games. Like I said, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, where you went to Cincinnati to see a game. It was like a summer vacation, so you only went maybe once a year. How lucky you were growing up here, Mike. To stroll over to Yankee Stadium.
That's right.
Huh?
I realized how lucky.
Little stick ball in the morning and then a ball game in the afternoon.
Johnny on the Pony, off the curb.
You did what? Johnny on the Pony? What happened there?
You never heard of Johnny on the Pony?
Oh. How'd we play that one?
There'd be one guy up against the wall, and then one guy would it would be like a chain of guys bent over, and then you'd have to jump on the top, and all your friends keep you jumping on top until the back's broke. I'm sure it caused a lot of vertebrae problems. It's a big New York. I don't know if they still do it. You ever play off the curb? You get a little Spalding ball, the pink balls.
Yeah.
And you try to hit it off the crown of the curb, the edge.
I can see that. Yeah. How about hot box? Did you guys play hot box? We played hot box.
No.
You had 3 people, and you make a first and second base, and you do rundowns.
So
okay.
Hot box. Yeah.
Again, it's amazing that Tillman, from where he was in the first inning, has had a couple good innings where he's getting away with some of his fastballs because he has added some changeup. And look at that pitch thing. 36 hit pitches in the first inning.
Tillman steps off. Fouled into the seats.
You know, that's that emergency hack where you see the ball so long when you're kind of caught. You can't do much with the pitch, and it's the best thing you can do as a hitter is just foul this pitch off. You know, one of the best shots we had last night, Michael, was Derek's mother and father after he got a hit. And it's not like it's his first hit. He's got over 3,000 hits, but still the excitement you see in them every time he takes the field.
Well, they've been here every step of the way. Jeter hitting .337 in July, 35 hits and 104 bats. Overall at .309.
It's amazing. You look at the league leaders and well off Tillman, you see, but you look at the league leaders of hits, and he's up there again. I mean, I think he was going into last night's game. He was second behind Cabrera, and just, you know, the consistency of the being able to take the field every single night, play shortstop, continue to hit.
Spoiling pitches.
Another one. I see he's spoiled 2 good pitches, and then the pitch before he fouled off kind of a hanging slider. So he's earning the good pitch to hit, but he didn't put it in play.
Mom and Dad are here again. Two.
Tillman, you know that you need to get outs because you've got home run power just on deck, just throughout this lineup. You can't give away free passes.
That one's popped up. Quintanilla, long run, and he'll put it away for the second out. So Tillman wins that battle.
Derek Jeter, to me, is just going back to that dugout, knowing that throughout that whole count, he had some tough pitches he fouled off, but he had some pitches he could hit too. And those are the frustrating ones that you remember. As competitive as he is, you remember the pitches that you missed, not the ones, the tough ones that you fouled off.
And a strike. Granderson tonight with an RBI single in the first and struck out in the second. Also scored a run in the first inning. Came around on Cano's home run. Foul bat, 0-2.
So the fastball is at 90, but it's in on his hands and is set up by a good curveball. He's featured a lot of off-speed pitches to Granderson tonight. Got a strikeout the last time up with the breaking ball. So, you know, you could take more chances with a fastball when you set up hitters with a breaking ball. Up and away, try to get him to swing at something out of the zone. That's the pitch is weird as a hitter because you didn't know where the target was. You know, that ball was supposed to be up and away, but it ended up and in. So you're thinking as a hitter, well, he's just trying to back me up off the plate. So it kind of changes the way. Now you want to go out away, and the catcher knows that you missed the target.
Swing and a miss. Granderson down on strikes. And that'll do it. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We're going to go to the bottom, should I say the top of the 5th inning, and Adam Jones will lead it off. Bob, if they don't get Beckett and Lester straightened out, they've got no chance to make a run, even with their lineup right. They need to pitch better. Cadillac scoreboard, Orioles lead the Yankees 8-5, so he has to lead the game with what could be a back injury. He is not the same. He has not looked the same for a while now, but they need him to bounce back. So we go to the 5th inning. It's the Orioles 8 and the Yankees 5. It'll be Jones, Wieters, and Ford against Ivan Nova. Count 0-1. Jones singled and scored in the second, and then ended the second inning with a fly ball to center. Jones signed a 6-year contract extension through 2018. He did that on May 27th. 6 years, $85 million, with incentives could go up to $91.5.
Adam Jones, the only American League player to lead the team in home runs, and stolen bases. That
one is hammered to left field, and it's over the head of Ibanez and helped to play the carom off the wall as Jones picks up the double. Another extra base hit against Nova.
And Adam Jones just keeps on impressing at what he does. Hanging breaking ball. He's missed with a lot of them tonight. Ibanez had just kind of got his steps messed up there.
5 extra base hits against Nova. And there was one more, a double over the glove of Ibanez. Here's Wieters with a single and a fly ball to left. 0-1.
Michael, I was saying, Adam Jones, he's the only American League player to lead the team in home runs, and stolen bases. And it's 2 players in the National League in the same boat. Carlos Gonzalez and Andrew McCutcheon in the National League. So it shows how many things he does offensively for his team. McCutcheon having quite a year too.
Yeah, that's the one I would have guessed. I wouldn't have gotten Cargo.
Cargo.
It's his nickname.
Got a little nickname.
Yeah, everybody
close with him. Everybody's just not yours.
It's not mine. Count 0-2.
See the balls that Nova gets in on Wieters. He's had success. The balls he leaves out over the plate, Wieters has been able to get the bat to it. But this pitch right here just has trouble getting his hands through and getting the bat head out. And picking on Wieters, everybody has an issue. That's a tough pitch for any hitter to hit, right in on the hands.
Saw Boone Logan warming up in the Yankee bullpen. Nova's only at 71 pitches, but the Yankees don't want this game to get out of hand. We're down 8-5. Wieters hits the Yankees though. 16 for 35. Missed inside. Still got good velocity, 94 miles an hour. But his location has been off all game. Obviously, Wieters wants to pull the ball and get Jones over to third. Line foul.
So Nova is continually staying in off the plate to Wieters. Broke a bat there. One pitch that you think that he might be able to get him to bite at is that breaking ball, but he took it last time up. Good breaking ball down and in.
1-2. Foul ball. Stays alive. Now Joe Girardi is saying, was that foul? I guess that's what you're saying.
Well, a lot of times you think that, you can look at the baseball. You thought that Russell Martin might have caught it, so he holds it up. But you can look at that baseball and there'll be a dirt spot on it, which tells the umpire that that ball hit the dirt before it went into the catcher's glove.
And it certainly did. Fly ball right field, and Adam Jones wants no part of tagging as Ichiro makes the play. Let's go back to our studios, and Bob Lorenz has an update. Bob? Thank you, Bob. Look on the bright side, so that's not a long outing for Strasburg.
I was just going to say, I mean, if they're going to try to hold to this pitch count, nights that he doesn't have it, you might as well take him out, because the nights that he does have it, you want him in there.
Right,
so,
that's a good point. And they say, they haven't announced it, but it's pretty much accepted right around 160 innings.
Davey Johnson, who's the manager there, he's kind of the old school kind of manager that puts a pitcher in there, and if he's got his good stuff, he'll let him finish. So it's going to be hard for that organization to hold him back, especially as excited as they are to try to make the playoffs.
Remember, the Yankees had a pitch count on Java, and then they kind of restarted the clock in the postseason. And the Nationals said that's not going to happen. When he's shut down at 160 or whatever the number is, that's it. He's not going to come back for the postseason.
It's really hard to say, isn't it? I mean, when you take a kid who's gone through what he's come through, bust into the major leagues, then go through what he did, then get back, and then your team, the excitement goes to the playoffs. You say you can't play. It's like taking in high school, taking your best players. Hey, you're not going to the tournament. Well, it's hard to do.
And no Washington baseball team, Paul, has been in a postseason game since 1933.
Yeah.
And the Braves have been playing great baseball. They're winning tonight, 4-1 against Miami in the bottom of the fifth. So nothing's a sure thing, although the Nationals have had a great season so far. And a lot of rumors before the 4 o'clock trade deadline today. The Nationals were looking to acquire a starting pitcher, but they weren't able to do it. And right now, Strasburg is at 122 innings.
What's the magic number? 160?
160.
I mean, that's almost impossible for him to finish the year.
Oh, he's not going to finish the year. Unless he keeps having 4 innings.
Yeah. Go out and get bombed the rest of the year so he can pitch in the playoffs, huh?
The 1-2. Ford fouls it off.
See that big glaring number in the second inning, 32 pitches, and that was the kind of the inning where he couldn't get through, couldn't get anything working. But he, other than the first inning, has pretty much struggled all night with command of his fastball, and he hung a lot of sliders tonight.
Lou Ford at AAA hit .331 this year, 11 homers and 40 ribbies in 62 games. Here's what I don't understand, Paul. He hasn't played in the big league since 2007 with Minnesota. He had 5 major league seasons, and he hit .272 with 32 homers, 172 ribbies in 494 games. Why was he left out of the game for that long?
A lot of times when you're with an organization and things, you're comfortable and, you're part. I look back at like Clay Bellinger. Remember Clay Bellinger played with us? He played with us on championship teams, but probably wouldn't have played with a lot of other teams. You're just comfortable. The manager likes you. Everything works. And all of a sudden you get away from that scenario and you're not, I don't want to say good enough, but you just don't fit into other people's plans like you did the original one.
Check this out. Lou Ford in 2004 hit 299, 15 homers and 72 ribbies, 20 stolen bases for the Twins, and was 24th in the MVP voting. And he's out of the majors for 5 years.
Ouch. You hear the sound of that, and those are the balls that, you know, don't hit the chest protector, don't hit the mask. It just beat catchers up. Listen to the sound of this. Wow, that's right off the bicep.
Update on Strasburg. One of my friends just tweeted me and said, or texted me and said, a week ago they moved the innings limit to 180. So that might get him 3 more starts. He is really making Nova battle.
You know, a lot of these battles is because Nova just does not have his good slider, does not have his strikeout pitch tonight. So guys are able to continue to fight off pitches. Larry Rothschild knows it. Joe Girardi knows it. Ivan Nova does not have his stuff tonight, but he's battling, doing everything he can to try to get, you know, later in the game.
Missed inside.
See that ball almost backed up. It's just there's no break on it, and it comes to a point where you have no feeler for anything. He lost his feeling earlier for his fastball. This ball you see just kind of hung, didn't snap back out over the plate.
Fly ball right field. Ichiro's there. Jones tags. Here's the throw. It's cut off by Pena. 2-away, runner at third. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Honda. Find your own great ending at the summer clearance event now at your Honda dealer. And by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Runner at third. Here's Betamit. Betamit 1 for 2. Struck out and an RBI double. And a strike.
This is where, you know, Betamit's a guy that you want to get out with breaking balls, but as a pitcher, you know that you don't have your great breaking ball. If you're going to throw 3 or 4 in a count, chances are you're going to hang one of them, so it you know, becomes a dangerous hitter.
Line drive right field. It is a base hit in front of Ichiro. Adam Jones scores another RBI for Betamit. Now it's 9-5-0s.
You know, looking back, Michael, I think you'll agree with me. I mean, he had such a quick first inning that he got in trouble in the second inning, and it went through a period where he was throwing all breaking balls, and he never really established his fastball. He never got into the mind of the Orioles that, you know, I'm a fastball pitcher, I'm coming at you. And there hasn't been too many counts where he hasn't got to the breaking balls to every hitter that walks in this plate.
Here's Mark Reynolds as Girardi's trying to squeeze this last out of him. And the first pitch is a strike. Count 0-2.
Another guy, Reynolds, that, you know, the book on him is you can get him out with good breaking balls, but, you know, if you're Nova, you got to know that you just don't have that good breaking ball tonight, and you have to go back to trying to just throw good fastballs. Russell Martin knows the same thing. Tough to call a game when you don't have the guy that you usually have. And Ivan Nova, believe me, I'm one of his biggest fans. He knows he wins. I mean, in the scouting report, 10 wins, over 10 wins last year, over 10 wins this year. He knows how to win.
Career high, runs allowed 9. And he strikes out Reynolds for the final out of the 5th. So he gets through 5, but he is really struggling, giving up 10 hits. They score another run. We're halfway through. Coming up for the Yankees, Cano. Network games. Here's the rules. You could tweet trivia questions about tonight's opponent. Hashtag it Yes Network Games. Each night, one question is going to be chosen and asked to us. And tune into the game to see if we answer your question. And here is tonight's question.
Be alert.
This is from Gersh the Man. Which Baltimore Oriole made his first All-Star appearance at the 1977 All-Star Game at Yankee Stadium?
You know what? I'm 14 years old. I had a Pony League game that night. I couldn't even watch.
Do you read history books?
All right. I got to think about this.
I have this one. I'm sure.
Well, then write big over there,
but
would you?
don't cheat on my paper.
You know, I'd help you out in an exam or something. What do you say? You wouldn't look off my paper?
I'm not saying a word. Pitch is outside the Cano. Cadillac scoreboard 9-5-0s. Hammered to first. Oh, what a play by Reynolds. Little Olay, and he grabbed it on the short hop for the first out of the 5th.
Robbie Cano just absolutely hammers this, and you see that Mark Teixeira knows all about those short hops and the high hops over at first base. And boy, I tell you what, good play by Reynolds. See? Eyes not on the baseball. Sometimes it finds the glove.
Paul mentioned Mark Teixeira re-injured his wrist, which he thinks he initially hurt in the Saturday night game against the Red Sox. Tried to make a diving stab on a ball. Came down hard on the left wrist. Had to leave the game. Yankees had an MRI performed on Teixeira today. No structural damage, which is great news. Inflammation in the wrist. They gave him a cortisone shot, which usually takes about 3 days to take effect. He tweeted out that that was good news, and he's looking forward to getting back on the field. Yankees hope that he can play on Friday, sometime this weekend at the latest. So, as long as you hear it's not structural damage, you feel a little bit better.
Well, it was MRI day, and you know, usually MRIs show something, and you know, this was a good sign. Obviously, Joe Girardi mentioned that you know he was prepared for the worst, and that was good news if you're Mark Teixeira.
And that's why Nick Swisher at first base today, as he is 1-2 on the count against Tillman. Missed outside. Boy, Tillman's really turned his game around. He getting tattooed in the first inning as the Yankees scored 5 runs on 6 hits. But his team bailed him out. Boy, he settled down after they scored him to 7 in the second inning. And this is a guy who has always struggled against the Yankees, although he's pitched well this year.
What you see, an off-speed pitch there, up in the zone, dead down the middle of the plate. As a hitter, you just missed that one. Waited right there. Every once in a while, you just don't square it up.
Boone Logan continuing to throw in the Yankee pen. Swing and a miss. Swisher down on strikes.
Another changeup. He swings right through it. This is every once in a while as a hitter, you just miss it and you scream, and it's funny. The pitcher hears you and he kind of looks back and talks back at you. You go back to the bench and hope that he's still in there when you get another at bat.
Tillman started the season in the minors and was recalled on July 4th. When he won on Thursday against the Rays, he won consecutive decisions for the first time in 40 major league starts. So he's got stuff, and there's his resume. Born in Anaheim, drafted by the Mariners in the 2nd round in 06. He came in the Jones-Bedard trade, which was a very good trade for the Orioles.
You talk about a trade that really, I mean, Seattle got nothing out of it. Really, Bedard really never pitched out there. And, you know, the Orioles have, there's like 5 or 6 players they received.
Got Jones, they got George Sherrill, who pitched well for them. Chris Tillman. And once again, even if it's Bedard for Jones, it's a good trade.
Right.
Foul back. This year at AAA Norfolk, Tillman was 8-8, 3.63, and the Orioles just trying to see who's going to click as a pitcher. Grounded to short right field. Quintanilla is there and gets Ibanez as Tillman works a 1-2-3 5th inning. 5 in the books here at the stadium. Orioles 9, the Yankees 5, and Quintanilla will lead it off. answer to the Yes Network game question, which was tweeted in by one of our listeners. Gersh the man, which Baltimore Oriole made his first All-Star appearance at the 1977 All-Star game at Yankee Stadium? So yesterday, Meredith and I got the answer right. Paul got it wrong. So let's show what we have. I have Ken Singleton. You have Ken Singleton, too?
If it's the most obvious one of his... Oh, you've got Ken. Everybody's got Ken
I have his
Singleton.
Twitter, too. Do I get a bonus point for that?
No, you don't get any bonuses.
No, because that bonus you threw out there yesterday was wrong. You said I had 2 strikeouts. I only had 1.
I want to go back and check that to make sure.
And also, check this out for Paul, if I could. He did it like it was Jeopardy. Who is Ken Singleton?
I just wanted to play the game show. Hey, I'm on the board at least.
That's right. So
Atta
keep
boy,
those
singing.
questions. The updated leaderboard, Kay and Marakovitz are tied 2 out of 2, and O'Neill's 1 out of 2.
All I want is a game winner at the end. That's all.
All right, walk-off?
Yeah.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
No bonuses, though.
Well, that's when I'm going to start working for. Fans, you got to help me. If I don't know the answer, send me a tweet or something.
Here's Quintanilla against Boone Logan, and he tries to drag bunt, but bunts it in the air over the Yankee dugout. So we thank Meredith, and we will see her again on the postgame with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. There's Boone Logan's numbers. He did not pitch well yesterday. Gave up a walk and a double to the 2 lefties, Quintanilla and Markakis. That's where they bring him in again here with Quintanilla and Markakis due up.
You know, it was funny because he came into the game yesterday. He got 2 strikeouts immediately.
Yep.
On righties.
Betemeat and Reynolds.
And then he got away from his breaking ball, and he gave up some hits to lefties. A big hit to Markakis out to right center. Again, sometimes pitchers, I think, outthink themselves. There's some nights that you just have a good curveball you got to continue to throw.
Left-handed batters have done pretty well against Logan and Rapata of late. Could not hold up the count 2-2. So Nova did not have a good night. Gave up a career-high 9 runs in 5 innings and gave up 10 hits. And as Paul said, he had no command whatsoever on his fastball. Strike 3.
There's that breaking ball right there. And that's a breaking ball that Boone Logan can get away with pitch after pitch to lefties. I mean, this is a put away breaking ball set up by a fastball, and it just locks him up right on the outside corner.
Here's tonight's MetLife stat of the game. Yankee bullpen has a 1.97 ERA in relief of Nova this season, which is the lowest for any Yankee starter, so they'd like more of the same tonight. And they've got to come in and get 12 outs. And there's a strike to Markakis.
Again, Markakis got a big hit last night. We talked on an inside fastball. Let's see if Boone Logan remembers that. Goes to everything away. Mostly breaking balls. Champney with a fastball in there.
Lone lefty in the Oriole bullpen, Troy Patton is up. Coming up for the Yankees, Chavez, Ichiro, and Martin. So 2 lefties and a righty. Tapped slowly towards second base, charging his Cano, and he can't barehand the ball, and Markakis will get himself a single.
Every once in a while, as a hitter, you see that you just get lucky, and put the ball in play. It just happened to be in the right spot. Robbie has no chance other than to barehand this, and it looks easy on slow motion, but it's not. There's spin on that ball. There's everything. It's still moving. You see, he's starting to get into that throwing motion as he goes through. Logan frustrated. See that right there, Michael? It means a good thing. It means that pine tar is nice and sticky. It sits on your shoulder. There's just some nights where the pine tar is a little better than others. It's from the bat leaning on your shoulder, and there's nothing better than getting up there on a warm night and just everything's right on that bat.
It's amazing the clubhouse kids can get that out in the wash.
No, I know. Yeah, because you know when I hit a golf ball in the weeds and get a little pine tar when I'm up against a tree or something, it doesn't come out in the laundry at my house that easy. Huh?
I would agree. I had to throw out a shirt yesterday. I got a little Italian sauce on it. little drop.
You know, tomato sauce does come out.
It didn't for me.
Yeah. Try a little soap.
Yeah. The 2-0.
Jody do your laundry?
No.
Really? You do your own?
It gets done.
Yeah. I forgot you do have people and sources and everything else. And sauces all over your shirt. It gets done. All right.
Does Jody do your laundry? Like I'm hanging out, Fred and Barney, talking about who's doing the laundry.
You don't have a line going off the terrace?
No. Runner at first, one man out, 2-2. And the pitch, foul back. 9-11-1 for the Orioles and 5-8-0 for the Yankees, top of the 6th inning. Cody Epley is warming. And the count 3-2.
This series, everything's been away to Hardy. Let's be the scouting report to keep away from him. He's quick inside. Drive me crazy as a hitter. You would see the pitcher go over to first base, and the catcher would almost intentionally show you where the pitch was going to be. You saw Russell Martin really move early on that. You wonder if he was trying to trick you, if he really was going away.
High fly ball, pretty deep right. Ichiro on the track will make the catch for the second out. So two-way, and that'll bring up Chris Davis. Davis had the big blow in this game. A grand slam in the second inning. And here it is.
It's the second hanging slider of the at-bat. Looks like he knows it's gone, but this ball hit off the top of the fence. Right into Rudy Harris's hands. Rudy was here in the mid-90s, right?
Yeah.
Used to throw a lot of batting practice to us.
Davis has good numbers against Logan lifetime. Lefty, he's 5 for 7 against Boone Logan.
And the first thing you think about as a guy that can handle lefties is can he hit the ball to left center field and stay on the ball. And in that replay we saw that he does use left center field. Can wait a little bit longer. That's the thing about lefties is they seem to throw harder because you don't pick up the ball as quick. Borderline pitch.
Count 2-1.
As a runner at first base, this is a time when you if you do get a steal sign, and we talked about the Orioles not running much, but once in a while, the manager will take a chance. You don't even look for a move. You go on first movement. As soon as he lifts his leg, if they get you, they get you.
2-2 now on Davis.
Like a manager's guess of, he's not really keeping an eye on the guy at first base, and you just try to steal a base on the pitcher instead of the catcher.
Swing and a miss. He got him. So Logan works a scoreless 6. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the inning, and Eric Chavez will lead it off. Poll again. The question: beside the Yankees, which team improved the most with their trade deadline deals? You've been voting for a while, and here's how you voted. 48% say it was the Dodgers, loving Hanley Ramirez and Shane Victorino.
Yeah, they ordered. They added 2 players, so pretty good vote.
And they also got Brandon League. They got him from Seattle last night, and Randy Choate came over in the Ramirez deal. Those are 4 useful players. We'll see what Don Mattingly can do with them.
It's really funny that you see all these acquisitions by LA, and they were off to a great start. But last year this time they were talking about where's this organization going?
First pitch is a strike as Buck Showalter made the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. So he squeezes 5 innings out of Tillman, who can win the game, and he turns it over to Troy Patton here in the 6th. Strike. '44th game for Patton. Good numbers. Popped up. Benameat in foul territory. 1 out.
Look at Eric Chavez facing a lefty there. And where's McGee going to fit in here? Going to be a straight platoon over third?
I would think so. I think Casey McGee would play against left-handers, and Chavez would play against righties. And then Lance Nix just becomes that utility guy. Or Jason Nix, Lance's brother. Here's Ichiro. Has not picked up a hit yet. And there's a strike. Ground ball up the middle. Now he has a hit. So he Ichiro with a single. And he now has a 7-game hitting streak. This Saturday, August 4th, the Yankees will team up with DKMS to strike out blood cancer. All guests in attendance receive a special red Yankees cap and are encouraged to just stop by any Delete blood cancer swab station throughout the stadium to swab and register. With a simple swab of your cheek, you have the power to save the life of someone with blood cancer. So come out to Yankee Stadium August 4th, get swabbed, and help delete blood cancer. So Ichiro with a single, and here's Russell Martin, who takes inside.
Well, Michael, you kind of pointed at it a bit. I mean, you really have to think what Tillman did. I mean, he was on the ropes. He might not even get out of the first inning, but all of a sudden, you know, his team gave him some runs. Ended up throwing 5 scoreless innings after that rocky first inning. In line for a win. Ichiro's going to try to use his speed. Being over here with the Yankees, they don't run much. Obviously, it's a 4-run game, so you don't want to try to take too many chances.
Swing and a miss. Neil Paulite robbed Ichiro of a hit. He has an 8-game hitting streak, not 7. So I apologize to Mr. Suzuki. Strikes as he looks at a call third strike. Martin and Girardi didn't like that.
And ball kind of up and in, kind of a borderline pitch. Things aren't going well. Russell Martin's been fighting it all year. These are the pitches that you just kind of feel like everything's against you. Definitely had the plate, but it was up in the zone.
Pena pops it up as Markakis will make the play, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the 7th. Orioles 9 and the Yankees 5. 9-5, and there's a shot of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar situated in center field. The Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game. Why don't we see how this game broke down? The game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. This is what's happened so far: 9-11-1, leading 5-9-0. Cano with a 2-run home run in the Yankees' 5-run first inning. Chris Davis, his first career grand slam. That was in the Orioles' 7-run second inning. And Nova allowed a career-high 9 runs, and that's where we are right now. Nova can get the loss. Chris Tillman could get the win. Now, Russell Martin being tended to by Joe Girardi as he was warming up. Cody Epley. Looks like he's all right. He will stay in. Let's see what happened here. Came up and got him in the throat, in that area where you're not quite covered by the mask or the chest protector. So Martin stays in. Russell talking to himself as in that sort of view.
I'll tell you one, there's a few things that you just don't understand about baseball and how guys go through that day in and day out, the position of catching. See, it doesn't even have to be in a game situation. It can be a warm-up pitch. A lot of people don't realize, and Joe Girardi used to show me all the time, how beat up your thumb gets just by catching balls wrong a little bit.
See the Cadillac scoreboard, 9-5-0s. Jones chops one to Swisher, and he'll beat Jones to the bag, 1 away.
Big out there. Adam Jones obviously has been swinging the bat well. Big part of their offense. Leading off an inning, it's kind of hold your breath. You don't want to start another rally. You're down 4 already.
Here's Wieters, who's 1 for 3.
Wieters, one of those guys we talked about that gave Nova all kinds of problems, and he just looks comfortable at the plate. I mean, you look at his numbers, 240 coming in. He's just a better hitter than that. Was talk that he was going to be, the next Joe Mauer, a guy that was a good catcher but a great hitter. So far this year, he just looks like he's fought a little bit offensively.
His nickname was Mauer with power. He also had the pressure with the SI cover, the perfect catch. Hey, he's done a nice job for the Orioles. He's not a bad player at all. And I know that Showalter loves his leadership and his game calling ability and his toughness. So, a great catch. That's a lot to live with. There's a catch on the ground ball by Pena. He gets Wieters for the second out. So 2 down for Epley, and that'll bring up Lou Ford.
Still trying to figure this question out, Michael. You asked me Lou Ford, the numbers he put up.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're out of the game for 5 years and can't get back to the major leagues.
It's weird. Want to know? And strike. Missed outside 2-1. Ford struck out in the second, doubled to left, and scored in the third, and then flied out to right in the fifth. Count 2-2. You can get cheated on that one.
You see the movement there from Eppley. I mean, the ball that just runs in, there's nothing a righty can do with this because it's sinking in down on your feet. It runs all the way across the plate.
And the count full at 3-2. Grounded foul. Grounded to Pena. He gobbles it up across the diamond, and Ford hustling down the line gets thrown out for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, Orioles 9, Yankees 5. Time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium, but we'll stay where we are to honor America in the Bronx.
As we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Baseball, they get Greinke, and the Texas Rangers made some news as well. They acquire Ryan Dempster. Everybody thought he was going to the Dodgers. He ends up going to Texas. Neftali Feliz, a torn UCL. He's going to need Tommy John surgery. He's such a good pitcher, too. And Roy Oswalt is going to be moved to the bullpen now. So it looked like pitching was going to be a strength for them. But Yu Darvish has struggled, and now they get Dempster. Oswalt goes to the bullpen. Felice is hurt. And Josh Hamilton has been in a terrible slump. Cadillac scoreboard, 9-5, Orioles lead. Troy Patton still on the mound.
See, there's one of my flip phones. They're not out of style.
I believe that guy with the flip phone was Ari Fleischer, who was a presidential communications director, I believe, for President. I think it was for the second Bush. Yeah.
Huh?
And he still has a flip phone.
You don't think he's borrowing his son's here?
Ground ball to first. Grabbed there by Reynolds, and nobody is covered.
I'll tell you one thing that will irritate Buck Showalter. There'll be an extra hour of pitchers fielding practice next year in spring training, because these are the things that drive you crazy. No excuse for it. It's automatic. It's ingrained in your head as a pitcher. As soon as it goes to the right side, too late then.
Right to the phone. Get the bullpen busy, and here is Granderson. Pitch is high.
I feel like giving a weather report, don't you? You see that Bigelow tea in the background?
Every time, even when I start drinking Bigelow tea.
I'm telling you, you say the word funny, man. You just threw it out there. Tea. You got an accent.
On a one-letter word, T.
Hey, now wait a minute. I'm bad in math, but T's got one letter.
I'm just saying, it's like A, B, C, D. You know, it's T. One syllable, one letter, T. No 1-0. 1-1.
A lot of breaking balls for Curtis Granderson. Both from Tillman, and now you see Patton.
Two more strikeouts for Granderson tonight. And Curtis's average is down. His home run totals are great. And it seems like he's taking aim a lot on those right field seats here at the stadium. 28 homers, 59 ribbies. And sometimes there's a lot of swing and misses in there. Darren O'Day up in the pen. Since 2011, Granderson has 69 home runs. That's the second most in Major League Baseball. The Blue Jays' Jose Bautista have the most with 70. But he does have 293 strikeouts in that time, 126 this year. Just missed inside.
Bautista's still on the disabled list, right?
Yes. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts for Granderson tonight.
You know, these are the things that Joe Girardi has said. You know, we got to deal with certain things. It's great when you're hitting home runs, but you got to deal with strikeouts too. When you've got home run hitters, you know, it's not the type of player that Joe Girardi was. It's not the type of team that, you know, he was part of. But, you know, you adapt as a manager of what type of team you're managing. And I think that, you know, it was a good thing for him to come out and say, this is the type of team we are. This is the type of team we're going to win.
Cano gets pumped. So he will take first and second, one out, and that'll bring up Swisher. Got him on the 2.
Robbie Cano, I mean, that looked like it was supposed to be a slider that just got away from him. Weeder's all the way on the outside corner. Nowhere to go as a hitter there. And all of a sudden, there's kind of been a lull. Obviously, the Yankees scored 5 in the first inning, and then 0 since. But all of a sudden, you look at it, and you're a big hit or two from tying this game up or getting the on deck. All of Ibanez on deck. It's a tying run. Things happen so quick here in Yankee Stadium.
So Showalter elects to stay with Patton, turning Swisher around to the right side, playing to the bigger part of the park. Slow ground ball to short, going to be a very tough play. Hardy fields, fires, and they get him at first with a nice scoop by Reynolds as the runners move up.
It's a big out for Patton and a good play by Hardy, but if you're the Yankees, you've got to realize you're still have an opportunity with a single right here to drive in 2 runs. Really good play by Hardy. That happens so quick. The exchange from your glove to your hand has to be perfect. Short hop to Reynolds.
It's a big at bat now for Ibanez. You get a little single here, make it 9-7. The last 2 innings have a different feel to them. Right now it's 9-5. Ibanez tonight is 1 for 3. He doubled in the 3rd inning.
Buck Showalter doing a good job by keeping Patton in there and keeping Swisher on the right side, and also having a right-hander up in the bullpen. So if you even think about pinch hitting for Ibanez with possibly Andrew Jones against the lefties, Buck's already got somebody up ready to go.
And what Showalter did was he allowed Girardi to pick his poison. Do you want Ibanez against the lefty, or do you want Andrew Jones against the righty? It was contingent upon what Girardi decided. So Joe did not want to go to Andrew Jones and have him face Darren O'Day. A sidewinding right-hander. The 0-2. That was the wrong choice as Ibanez swings and misses. No runs to hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the 8th inning. Orioles 9, Yankees 5. Hybrid of the New York Yankees. All right, we go to the 8th inning here at the stadium. Kind of a weird game in the First inning, it looked like it was all Yankees as they scored 5 runs. Orioles came back with 7 in the second, and they haven't looked back. Hyundai scoreboard 9-11-1, leading 5-10-0. And Cody Epley's still in for the Yankees, and he will face the bottom third in the Orioles order, trying to hold it right here at 9-5. Betamete struck out in the second, RBI double to right in the third, and an RBI single to right in the fifth. And there's a strike. Orioles were supposedly in the running to get Joe Blanton from the Phillies. That's a deal that did not happen. Orioles feel they need another starter, and there's a base hit to right center field. Ichiro cuts the ball off, and Betamete's going for 2. Here's the throw. He's in there with a double. Third hit from Betamete.
Good base running by Betamete. About halfway down to first base, he figured out, I'm going for 2. And the one thing that helped him here is Ichiro's right-handed. And as he reaches into the gap, he has a tough time turning around. You see right there, all right, I'm going. Ichiro throws well. But the one thing, when you're right-handed playing right field, it takes you a while to stop and throw against your body.
Clearly in there.
Uh-oh, he's out.
Wow, he was out. There was a disconnect with the bag. Reynolds shoots one the other way. How close it was. The foot's on the base. Now it's off the base, and there's a tag. He is out.
I don't think you can call timeout as soon as your foot flies off either. Huh?
Inside 1-1. Robert Andino comes in the pinch run.
Andino replaced Jim Thome, who went on the DL, had to go back yesterday to have his neck looked at. Big power hitter that they're going to miss. I mean, he's kind of a presence in that lineup, even if he's not hitting a lot of home runs.
Epley almost threw that away, but a nice stretch by Swisher to get Reynolds, and the runner holds at 7. Here's Omar Quintanilla.
We talked about it, Michael, that a couple of these setup guys, and Joe Girardi, we talked earlier, was kind of handcuffed to what he can do offensively. He's also kind of handcuffed what he can do out of the bullpen. If everything goes perfect, you match up 7th, then you have your 8th and your 9th guy. But when you get in the bullpen early, when you've got guys, matchup guys with Epley and Rapata, tonight you had to allow them to face some lefties.
That's why Jabba could actually be a very valuable member, because he can come in and get out anybody. And there, Rapata was up early. I think in the 3rd inning, he's up again here in the 8th. Count 1-1.
feeling last inning when they had an opportunity, if they could have scored a couple runs, you would have got the fans involved in this game and really had a chance these last couple innings to try to win this game. You give up 9 runs, you got to figure the opportunities that you have to score, you have to take advantage of. And since the first inning, obviously the Yankees have not done that.
Two, 1, 2-2. The 2-2. Jumped up and hit him.
Way up, he's kept that ball down in this count. Everything sinking low. You see, just beating the ball off the plate. Really don't see the movement that you do at the plate when you're up there. How much that ball is sinking and how quick it's happening. You see it on TV, and you visually see a little bit of the movement. But boy, when you're hitting it, and a guy has a good sinker, it happens so quick.
The 2-2. Ground ball to second base. Cano is there as the runner moves to third. Yankees did make a move today before the deadline. They got Casey McGee, and Brian Cashman before the game spoke about that acquisition.
Obviously with the Alex injury, he gives us another right-handed bat. We've obviously become pretty left-handed, especially with the recent temporary loss of Swish, and now obviously Tech's been down 3 to 5 days. We're pretty left-handed, so it just gives Joe more choices.
And those choices will increase when he gets here tomorrow. That's it for Epley. Girardi goes to Clay Rapata with the lefty swinging Markakis due up. Stick around. Rapata Markakis in a moment. Starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed, internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Zach Britton will go for the O's 1-0, 5.74, and Phil Hughes goes for the Yankees 10-8, 4.08. All of our coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. and the first pitch for the Wednesday matinee will be right around 1:07. How you doing?
That picture there, and you think of coming to a baseball game in the middle of the summer in New York with a hat and a suit coat.
Look, everybody had hats. How great is that? People wear hats now, but not fedoras, so to speak.
The suits, though, just hanging out in the sun in a ball game in a suit.
Who's going to see entertainment? Like people get dressed up to go to the Met, Carnegie Hall.
I know one thing: the Broadway people, when they built those theaters, Must have built them for short people. Have you ever been in one of those things?
Your knees are in your chin.
Wow. Always a neat thing.
High drive, right field. Ichiro at the track. See ya. Home run for Markakis as Rapata serves it up. A 2-run shot, and the Orioles lead 11-5. We told you earlier how Rapata and Logan have struggled against lefties of late. And Rapata serves up a 2-run home run to Markakis.
Markakis has been locked in as anybody on the Orioles since this series started last night. He's had really good at-bats. Another fastball in, and he's shown that he can catch up to that fastball in off lefties. Last night off Logan, tonight off Rapata. Much different hitter than you saw earlier in the year. You know, the leadoff thing is really weird because this team is really not set up like a, you know, they don't have a true leadoff hitter, a true second hitter. They've got a lot of guys who swing the bat, that hit some home runs. So, you know, you get a guy who's hot, swinging the bat, and it really doesn't matter if he's a true leadoff hitter.
J.J. Hardy grounds out to Pena, and that will do it. So Markakis gives the Orioles 2 more runs. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's Baltimore 11, the Yankees 5. Eric Chavez will start it off in the bottom of the inning. And the Orioles lead this one 11-5.
They served ice cream back then too, Michael. Or was that a Coke guy? What we got working?
I think that was soda.
Soda? Pop? Depending on what part of the country.
Pictures around. I'm sure
they really
the grub crawl you've seen, but just if you walk around the ballpark, some of these pictures are just outstanding. Well, the Yankees send up Jason Nix to pinch hit for Chavez, so Buck Showalter now is going to take out left-hander Troy Patton and go to the right-hander to match up with Nix. So Patton worked a scoreless 2 innings. Orioles still lead 11-5. Online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are, unfortunately for the Yankees, all Orioles. Chris Davis, Wilson Bettamy, Omar Quintanilla, or Nick Markakis. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Picture Paul O'Neill.
Look at that. Where's that, in the bathroom?
Yeah, right over the women's bathroom.
That'll really draw him in there, won't it?
The first pitch from Lindstrom to Nix is a strike.
All joking aside, Michael, as you do walk around this stadium, and we did do a little grub crawl today, that the pictures are just amazing. Nowhere else in the country do you see pictures in the history that you see here in Yankee Stadium.
Nix swings and misses, count 0-2. Hyundai scoreboard 11-5-0s. Yankees in danger now of losing their 9th game out of their last 12. And Paul mentioned this yesterday. Before they went on that West Coast trip, we looked at each other and go, who's beating this team? The way they were playing, the way other teams were playing them. And then they go on the West Coast and they get swept 4 straight by the A's. Great pitching. And then they take 2 out of 3 against Seattle. They come home. They lose 2 tough games to the Red Sox, so they lose 2 out of 3 to Boston. And now very close to losing the first 2 games of this Orioles series, so it can happen quickly. But what's fortunate for them is they built up a very nice lead, and I don't think they're in any imminent danger. But if the Orioles win this game, all of a sudden it's a 5.5 game lead, and before that West Coast trip it was 10.
I mean, you do have to realize, and Joe Girardi is very good at realizing the length of the season, what has gone on. You've got players out who are going to come back. You know, you've got some of your star players. Robbie Cano just went through a little minor slump for a few days. And so, you know, you're not playing your best baseball, but you also don't have your everyday lineup in there. So, you know, you figure out a way to hold on, keep this lead, and then as guys start filing back in, then you build it back in, and you go into, hopefully, the playoffs, if you're a Yankee fan, playing your best baseball.
Hardy fields a ground ball by Nix, and there's one away. Nix will take over at third for Chavez in the 9th, and here is Ichiro. He has had exactly 1 hit in every game he's played for the Yankees so far. That one is driven deep to center field. Jones back. And he makes the play for the second out. Let's see where the Orioles stand in regard to the wild card. They're 2 out behind the Angels. Right now it's the A's and the Angels who are the top 2 teams. They will make the wild card a 1-game playoff. Then it's the Tigers, O's, 2 back. Rays 3, Red Sox 4, Blue Jays 4.5, and Indians 5.5.
And you got to look at it as, you know, the Rays, the Red Sox, sure, you know, 3 games back, 4 games back, doesn't seem like a lot, but you got to realize when there's that many teams in it, somebody's going to win every single day. And you just have to take care of yourself. You can't hope for other teams to help you out. So when you go on a winning streak, you got to keep it up, because if you go through any losing streaks, especially in September in the middle of a wild card race, your season's going to be over.
Count 1-1. Russell Martin today had an RBI single in the first. Got thrown out rounding first and actually heading to second. Thought the throw would come straight home. Then grounded to short and struck out looking. Lindstrom throws hard, as you can see. 96 miles an hour.
I'll tell you one thing, as a manager, Buck Showalter had to look at last night's win and Johnson getting out, you know, leading on. He's been struggling. He's your closer. Leadoff double to start the 9th inning, and he gets out of it. You end up winning. Huge confidence build it for your closer and for your team.
Check swing. Alan Porter said no, he did not go. Grounded slowly to Hardy. Charges, fires, and a 1-2-3 inning for Matt Lindstrom and the Orioles. We played 8 here at the stadium. Orioles 11, Yankees 5. Chris Davis will lead it off in the 9th. Jack Curry have complete analysis of tonight's matchup, including highlights from around baseball. Plus, Meredith Morakovitz gets the reaction from the clubhouse, and also Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's the WB Mason postgame, and it's only on Yes.
Unless things change, if you're Meredith, this is one of those nights where you go in the locker room and you don't really know what to ask. I mean, the players are kind of sitting around, just kind of shaking their heads, just trying to figure out what's going on. And if you think about it, you scored early. Von Nova was just did not have his stuff tonight. You got to turn the page on that. Nothing wrong. He just had a bad night. And the one thing you kind of scratch your head about is to come out, score 5 runs in the first inning, and then all of a sudden nothing. And the offense is much better than that.
See that score there, Paul? Pittsburgh 4, Cubs nothing. A.J. Burnett has a no-hitter through 6 for the Pirates.
They'll be fighting it out with the Reds this weekend. Big series in the National League.
High fly ball, left center. Granderson for the first out.
Jones, I'm trying to look at him and think, what he really can't do on a baseball field. And it's really nothing. He hits well, hits for power, runs bases well, good outfielder.
Crushes that one to left field. Ibanez back and makes the play in front of the scoreboard for the second out.
So if you're Adam Jones, you're going back to the dugout. You know what he's saying, Michael? Why did I hit this here in Yankee Stadium and not in Camden Yards where that's a home run? And I don't know how many times you would fly out to the wall on the road and think, that'd have been a home run at home.
Camden Yards is 364 to left center.
Yeah,
so.
Short gaps. One of the better hitting parks in the American League.
Pitch to Wieters is a strike.
all the trades and everything. I think the last time in town, didn't you talk to Mattingly? Didn't you on a radio show or something?
Yeah.
Have you talked to him since trades or anything like that? You got to be a manager when an organization goes out and does things for you. So Robbie get handcuffed a lot of time.
And Rapata works a 1-2-3, top of the ninth. Can the Yankees come back? Pena, Jeter, and Granderson will give it a shot. Dealers, visit bwdealer.com. And by Raymore and Flanagan, furnishing your style with guaranteed delivery in 3 days or less. Some great moments in Yankees history, but on this Tuesday night, not too many great moments for the Yankees. After the first inning, when they had a 5-0 lead, it has not looked good since then. And now the Orioles bring in the former Yankee Luis Ayala to try to get the final 3 outs. He's had a good season with a 2.68 ERA. So Ramiro Pena, Derek Jeter, and Curtis Granderson will take their shots against Ayala. I almost feels like he's throwing darts.
Yeah, he doesn't extend past it. And I was noticing his sleeves too. They're kind of shiny. They're not tight. Kind of a different set of sleeves that I've seen from many. But the old days, you know, they were wool and they were kind of tight around your wrist, and the pitchers hated them. They cut them. You see what Mike was saying here. And once he releases the ball, there's really no extension to it. It just short arms it.
Well, the Yankees need a pretty big rally here. They're down by 6 in the bottom of the ninth. First 14 games of July, 10-4, averaged about 6 runs a game. Last 11 games, 3-8, average under 4 runs a game. And the batting average a stark difference as well. Pitch outside to Pena. Tillman is the pitcher of record. He can get his 4th win if the Orioles hold on. And for the Yankees, Nova, the pitcher of record, he can get his 5th loss if the Yankees don't come back. Grounded slowly to second. Quintanilla gets a hustling Pena for the first out.
And if you're Ivan Nova, you got to look at it. You know, I come into the game, I'm 10-4. You know, chances are I'm going to end this game at 10-5. You know, you turn the page on that thing and you think, you know, my next 4 or 5 starts are going to be good. I want to pick up the paper in a month. I could be 15-5, and that's the way you got to look at it. I'm like, instead of, you know, I gave this game away, I didn't pitch well. He's too good a pitcher. He knows how to win. He just had an off night. Players have off nights. Pitchers have off nights. It just so happens that it looked bad because the Yankees gave him an early lead, and it just didn't work.
Jeter with 2 more hits tonight takes a pitch outside from Ayala. Jeter doubled to open up the first inning. Came around to score, then hit a ground ball to Reynolds where Troy Patton didn't cover and picked up an infield single. Grounded slowly to third. Andino charges, fires. Not in time. Jeter with an infield single. Been doing that his whole career.
Unbelievable. And, you know, he gets out of the box. You can smell those hits. It's like a tie. It goes to the runner.
Wow.
Pretty close. When you're a Hall of Famer, don't you think you could deserve a break even if you're out?
I think foot
that's a
hit
tie.
the bag and ball hit the glove at the same time.
Good call.
Here's Curtis Granderson, who struck out 3 times tonight. You know what I just noticed, Paul, and you complimented this guy yesterday. The home plate umpire is Darryl Cousins. We have not mentioned him once.
Right.
Not an argument from pitcher or hitter.
In my mind, he calls balls, and strikes. And, you know, hitters respect it. I don't know if pitchers do because he does not give the ball off the plate a lot. But if coming into the game you know that, you don't complain. Definitely wasn't a pitcher's night, that's for sure.
Line to second base, knocked down by Quintanilla. There's one on to first. That's the ball game as the Orioles beat the Yankees 11-5. So Granderson hit the ball very hard, but Quintanilla turned it into a 4-6-3 inning-ending, game-ending double play. He stayed with it, flipped to Hardy. Hardy fired to Reynolds to get Granderson to end the game. Stick around for the post-game show to find out who's tonight's Chevy Player of the Game. So the Yankees 3-9 in their last 12. A little bit of a stumble as they were cruising along, but they lose this one 11-5. We'll be back.